With this pace of change, we have no time. Let's get started. Before we start, let's quickly look at the goals for this video. First, we'll check our environment like VS Code, Terrafrom, and Azure CLI. Second, we'll connect to Azure so Terrafrom knows where to work. And finally, we'll create our first Azure resource using Terrafrom. It's a resource group. And then we're gonna verify it using the CLI and Azure portal. You don't need to understand every detail yet. Just follow along, everything will make sense as we go. Okay, what is Terraform? Terraform lets us define infrastructure as code. Instead of clicking in Azure portal, we write code. Terraform reads that code and talks to Azure to create the resources for us. This makes our infrastructure repeatable, predictable, and version controlled. Before we create anything like virtual machines or networks, we need a resource group. In Azure, a resource group is basically a container. Everything related to one project lives inside it. Virtual machines, networks, databases, everything. It helps you organize resources and manage access. That's why every real Azure project starts with a resource group, and it's the first thing we create in Azure. Let's go and check our prerequisites. We'll need VS Code, Terraform, and Azure CLI. And finally, we need an Azure account with an active subscription. If you already have this, great. If not, I'm gonna put the links in the description and you just need to go download and install them. So let's go to VS Code and check our environment. Before we continue, one quick tip about VS Code. I'm going to turn on Zen mode. Zen mode hides sidebars and also distractions. We can focus only on the code. You can enable it here, and also you can see the shortcut key as well here. So let me bring a terminal as well, and also I need to have our files and folders here. I just want to make sure everything is installed and ready before we continue. VS Code is our main workspace. We'll write Terraform code here and run Azure CLI and Terraform commands directly from the built-in terminal. I'll run at first Terraform -- version. Let me make this one better. Okay. And then I'm gonna use, so we can see the version here. The version of Terraform is out of date. It doesn't matter for now. So I'm gonna use AZ version as well. So okay, and also it shows 2 updates available. As long as you see a version number, you're good to go. That means your environment is ready and we can move forward. Before running Terraform, we need to connect to Azure. So we have 4 steps here that we start with authenticating with Azure CLI and verify our connection at the end. So I'm gonna run az login - use device code. So this method is simple and works on any machine. It gives me a shortcode and a link. So I just open the link in the browser, enter the code, and sign in to my Azure account. I already connected to my Azure account. I'm not gonna continue on this. So once you logged in, the Azure CLI stores this session locally, and Terraform can automatically reuse it. So you don't need to configure any keys manually. Now I'll check which subscription I have access to. Use AZ account list dash dash output table. So this shows all my available subscription. You might have several subscriptions. So next, I'm gonna choose subscription I want Terrafrom to use. So AZ account dash dash subscription, and you can use your subscription here. So let's go and verify it because I already connected, so I don't need to continue on that one again as well. So AZ account show dash dash output table. This confirms that I'm connected to the correct tenant and subscription. Now Azure CLI is connected, and Terraform will use this authentication automatically when we run it. So let's check out Terraform code. Here's Terraform code we'll use in this video. First, we define Terraform block and the Azure provider. Then we define a resource group with a name, a location, and some tags. If this looks new, don't worry, we'll break everything down. Let's quickly understand what each part does, not deeply, just conceptually. The first one is Terraform block. As you see, here's we are telling Terraform which provider we want to use, where to download it from, and which version range to use. Azure RM is the Azure provider. HashiCorp Azure RM means it comes from HashiCorp's official registry, and the version for means so this block prepares Terraform to work with Azure safely and predictably. Next one is Azure provider configuration. This is the provider configuration. This tells Terraform we are using Azure, and this is the subscription where resources should be created, and we can add our subscription here. The feature block is required by Azure provider even we don't configure anything inside it yet. So this block is basically how Terraform knows which Azure account and which subscription to talk to. And the last one is our resource group definition. This is actual infrastructure definition. The first line means create an Azure resource group, and inside Terraform we refer to it as RG. Then we define its properties, name, location, and tags. So conceptually, this code is just saying Terraform use Azure provider, connect to this subscription, and create a resource group in Canada Central with these tags. That's it. No clicking portal, no manual setup, just code, Terraform, and Azure. I'm also going to put the full code in the description so you can copy it directly and follow along without typing everything manually. Before we run anything, two quick but important things. First, don't forget to save the file. If the file isn't saved, Terraform won't see your changes. Second, make sure you are in the correct project directory in the terminal. In my terminal, I'll run dir. This lets me see the files in the folder and confirm I'm in the right place. Once the file is saved and I'm in the right directory, we are ready to run our Terraform commands. And also, if you noticed, we are using only one file here, main.tf. We are doing this on purpose to keep things simple. In the next video, I'll show you how and why we're using split Terraform projects into multiple files and folders. Finally, we are going to run our Terraform commands. So we have three commands here: init, plan, and apply. First, I'm gonna run Terraform init. This initializes the project. It downloads the Azure provider and prepares the working directory, and usually run this once per project. Next, I'm gonna run Terraform plan. This shows us what Terraform is about to create. It's a dry run, and it's in the real projects. This step is very important. So we need to wait until it's finished. Okay, so everything looks good, and so finally, and also you can see Azure RM resource group is going to create a resource group. You can see one to add here, and also location, name, and tags. So finally, we are going to run Terraform apply. This is where Terraform actually talks to Azure and creates the resource group. Terraform asks for confirmation, and I'm gonna confirm it and say yes. And then after that, it's gonna create our resource group. Say yes. While this runs, Terraform is calling Azure APIs and tracking everything in its state file. So we need to wait to create our resource group on our Azure account. It says still curating. So you can see apply complete, resources 1 added, 0 changed, and 0 destroyed. So let's go and verify the results. First, I'll verify using Azure CLI. So az group list -o table. So I can see it's right here, and our resource group is listed, rgtf demo. So, and you can see we have mentioned here in our code, so it's created. Now let's also confirm it in Azure portal. I'll open the portal. If our resource group is there, so go to resource groups, and if we have a lot of resource group we can search it, but you can see our resource group is here. So we verified it in two ways, from the command line and inside the Azure portal. Okay, we're done here. If anything didn't work for you, or if any step was confusing, please tell me in the comments. And if there is a topic you want me to cover it in this series, leave it there. I read every comment. In the next video, we'll create a clean folder structure, introduce variables, and build an Azure virtual network. Follow the series step by step, and by the end, you'll feel confident using Terrafrom on Azure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.